my Film Addict Mystery, and it's your boy, the Film Doctor, here to talk about Good Burger 2. Now, Good Burger, which comes from back in the day from a TV show called All That, with Kenan and Kel portraying these two goofy-like characters. One's super goofy, awkward, not the brightest, and the other one's kind of goofy, awkward, and he's like the mastermind that comes up with dumb inventions and dumb ideas that ends up getting them into more trouble. They were characters on this TV show, and that TV show, which was so huge back inside of the 90s, ended up evolving to get their own movie, Good Burger, which is known as a classic, okay? So years later, all the drama that has happened with Kenan and Kel, they thought they split up as friends, and you see them together on TV, they're back together, whatever the case may be. They have reunited to do Good Burger 2, okay? Available on Paramount Plus. I don't know where to start, because as a film doctor, like I said, a lot of people trust whatever opinion I have. And when I look at a lot of the other people online that are judging it, I already know what Rotten Tomatoes, I already know what Jeremy Jahns and some of these other, Chris Stuckman, I already know what all of them are going to review and say that they hate it, because it's based on a personal liking. And quite honestly, especially if you look at a younger generation, people that didn't see or appreciate in its time, in its era for Good Burger 1, would they enjoy Good Burger 2? The nostalgia of it all stayed in tune. It wasn't something where we had to hit with some type of newer day and age. However, that's always going to be inserted inside the movies to appeal to a younger age. Let's twerk or do some other shit like She-Hulk. You know what? I'm not going there. But I will say that it did stay in tune with the nostalgia of the characters, with the nostalgia of the storytelling, with the nostalgia of the timeline in terms of things that have happened. And you got to see some familiar faces from back in the day during that TV show tenure of time. It was something that I think that if you were alive during that time, you would have enjoyed. I cannot judge it for an individual movie. I can judge it as a sequel to the first one. Because if you change up the formula, if you change up the sequel and the storyline, and I can't think off the top of my head a movie that would have done that, but I know that there are movies where later now I guess we'll take one of my favorite, and the poster's not up here, one of my favorite movies, The Matrix. I think that they changed that. When you look at The Matrix 4, and you compare that to Matrix 5, it's completely a different take, a very different, I guess they talked about it, but it was just own entity. You know what I mean? It wasn't, this one stayed in tune with it. And that's the funny thing when you're dealing with sequels and prequels and tri-sequel. I don't know what it would be when you have 3 or 4 of them. Tri-sequels, whatever. Triquels. These things are things that you have to kind of just judge on the previous. Did it make sense? Because you're in storytelling. That's why you have a second one or a third one or some for a prequel. The music, it was all right. It was what it was for Good Burger for that franchise. The cinematography was what it was. The acting, I don't know if Kenan Thompson's character was 100% like how I remember him growing, in the 90s, but I will say that it was semi-close to it. And, but Kel definitely, he has it down packed. It amazes me when you get some of those individuals from back in the day, and then years later, they still can portray that down to a T, and I think he hit his character spot on. So in the story, it was what it was. No, there was no great story in the first one. This was a little bit more unbelievable, but like years later where now technology is a thing, and that's the thing that's supposed to take over, and we have to prevent that. That's the obstacle that they're trying to prevent from technology being the thing of the future, while still connecting with the villains and everything else, and Good Burger and how it's evolved. So with that said, let's just jump right into the movie rating.
Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So, keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
I don't know what to say. I cannot put it as background noise, and I know it's going to be so upsetting, because if you notice, the shirt hasn't changed. So I've done 3 reviews wearing this shirt. They're all in the same day, so it is what it is. You already know. So I'm giving 3 reviews so far, and the third one is the same review as the other one. I have to give it a 3. It was just average. It was not something. I think that maybe if you and for me, I did come from that era. I remember the TV show. I remember the characters. I love the characters. Who loves orange soda? I do. I would say, like, quite honestly, if it was me watching this second one right after the first one, I'd probably give it a 4. I just feel like they did sloppily try and capitalize on this younger generation at some point by doing these younger generation jokes, but there was a lot of jokes in there that really did make sense, and I would have loved to still see all of the characters from that era and that time, and maybe just a better story in general in connection with whatever. But, you know, you had Hannibal Buress, Little Rel Howery. Sorry, I get them too. I guess black people, we all do look alike. But you had a lot of different people. The girl Amanda, and I can't think of her real name. If it is Amanda, this is the bigger white girl that played from All That. She was in this, and that was a surprise. I hope that's not a spoiler. But it definitely was just something where you saw these characters and these different famous people that were in it that were just mind-blowing, that they were able to get them to be a part of this project and, you know, sell certain funny parts that made the movie have the nostalgia of what I remember from the TV show in the first one. So all in all, you know, for me, I would love to give it a 4. I kind of deep down as a kid, you know, coming from that era, want to give it a 4. But I know that people would not trust my opinion because I have to be appealing to what is now. However, that's a little hypocritical to say because there's a lot of movies from back in the day that still hit as being one of the greatest of all times, even now. So it shouldn't be, if they're sticking with this same nostalgia, the same formula, that should be downgraded because of it. However, I do feel like, you know what? Fuck it. Film Doctor, I'm going to go ahead and change it because 4 is good enough. And if we're comparing it to the first one, I'm going to stick out of the hatred in the comments and the possibility of being canceled, and I'm going to give it a 4. Not to say that this was some phenomenal fucking movie, but I will give it a 4 to say that it stayed in tune with the nostalgia of the first one. So if I was a kid watching that, that's the reason why I would say it's a 4. For anybody else that's watching it, they're going to say a 3. For anybody that's really young, they're going to say it's a 2. That's what makes it a little difficult as the film doctor because I'm judging it. I'm trying not to judge it from my own personal experience. So I almost have 2 ratings today. For me, a 4. Good enough. It was good enough to compare to the first one to say, all right. As the film doctor, to everybody watching this, I'm going to say 3. It was just average. I hope that is so conflictual and whatever. You guys do with that however you want. That's all I have for you guys today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell, do all that jazz. Send some folks in those tight little note to a bitch's like, send it on its way. Put a message in the bottle, throw it in the water, let it reach our shores. And as always, this has been another exciting episode of Filmatic. Now I'm out of here. I need to go get me some orange soda. Who loves orange soda? I do.